in orange, and Middle Township is moving. Alan Smith is given to Xavier Thompson, and he is blown up for a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, that kind of looked like a busted play, too, as they tried some misdirection, and really they didn't know where they were going on the play, so that'll set them back 5.
Scott, one of the best young players in the league. You talk about how Middle Township feels about this kid. He's a sophomore. Carl Julian is a captain as a sophomore, and he made the tackle for the 5-yard loss. Here's another handoff to Thompson. He's going to be taken down in the backfield again.
And that will be Julian in on the tackle, Brian, number 34. So he makes 2 consecutive tackles. We saw Carl Julian play a little bit last year in both running back and in linebacker. And 2 plays and 2 drops for a loss for Steiner, now facing a 3rd and 16.
Yeah, Austin Kaminsky, I think, had the initial hit, and then Julian finished him off. Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's a lefty, back to pass, fires over the middle, knocked down. Nice diving play there by, I think it was Gary Nagel, Scott.
It was, Brian, and I'll tell you, I had my eyes on Nagel. I think he got away with the hold. He reached out for the receiver, put his hand on his shoulder pad, slowed him up enough to make that an incomplete pass. So a fortunate no call for Middle.
You've been watching too much NFL. Stick a hand on somebody, they get a flag. Steiner will punt, facing 4th and 16 from their own 39. Not much of a rush. Kick is away. It's high but relatively short. Takes a Middle Township bounce. And the Panthers will take over at their own 36 after a good defensive stop on the first Steinert series.
You know, Brian, as we compare last year's team to this year's team for Middle Township, you know, they lose their quarterback. They lose their top lineman in Dave Bond. Sean Scott was a great running back. They lost a lot, but they come back with 8 seniors this year and 8 quality seniors as well, including Kaminsky. Nagel's out there as well. You know, unsettled a little bit at quarterback, but we'll see which way Middle Township goes. Cameron Hamer, due to the injury last year, was able to play some quarterback, and we expect him to start under center tonight.
Yeah, Middle's captains, we mentioned Julian, but Gary Nagel, Cody Kern, and Joel White are the captains for Middle Township. All are seniors except for Julian. Now we have an official's timeout. I believe this is an equipment issue with Max Selby for Middle Township on the far side of the field.
You know, and watching the interviews you had on CoastSportsToday.com, you know, the players indicated we think we're going to have a good season. We have to clean some things up and get things going on offense, and let's see if Middle can get a first down on its first drive of the year.
Hamer is under center. He hands off. They're going to pass. Middle Township's going to throw deep. A man is open, but the pass floats out of bounds. They were looking for Selby, and the pass was thrown.
That was Loeffler who took the pitch,
yes.
And it was a lateral, and he threw the ball downfield, but it landed about 4 yards down the right sideline, out of bounds. Receiver had his man beat by about a step.
So 2nd down and 10. Ball to Middle Township 35. No score, 10:27 to go first quarter. Opening night of the West Jersey Football League season. These two teams are the only ones playing in the league tonight, at least down this way anyway. Here's a handoff. The West Jersey Football League has, I think it's about 468 teams in it by now. Julian picks up about 3 on that run.
Ran off left tackle, and, you know, Steinert had a heck of a drive to get here. They probably grabbed some Sam's Pizza and then came over. You know, they got a good 50 people on the opposing sideline.
So 3rd and 7 for Middle. Ball at their own 38. Hamer fakes a handoff. Now they're going to try a sweep. Cutting back and maybe getting a yard, I believe, was Loeffler.
There's a little.
Check that.
It was a little.
That's actually.
Is that Julian?
That's actually Julian. We've run into this before, where some of these uniforms in Middle Township certainly fall into that category, are not easily identifiable, the uniform numbers from the press box.
Top half of the numbers in orange, right, and then it bleeds out the black.
The black,
it's tough
right,
to see.
On a black uniform. So 4th and 6, Middle will punt. Really good snap there. They boot it away from the return man. Oh, takes a middle bounce, but the return man is able to grab it, take it up the sideline. Jordan Morrison does a nice job and probably saved his team about 30 yards of field position. That ball nearly bounced past him. He reached up and plucked it out of the air and then returned it out to the 45-yard line.
Morrison, a senior wide receiver, and that took some thought to think, do I let it bounce or do I try to pick it up? And he got a clean hop, and he had a few blockers and some open field, so a good decision by Morrison. Steiner, Spartans with their second possession, 9 minutes to go, first quarter.
Shotgun formation, kind of a strange formation here. You don't see a lot with a deep back and two fullbacks next to the quarterback. Here's a handoff, and this is going to be the first positive play for Steiner, but they're not going to get very far. Xavier Thompson got maybe two.
Brian, you take a look at this middle defense, and they're able to get penetration off the snap. It only takes a couple of steps, and they got a couple of guys in the backfield. And that's why they've been able to blow up 2 plays on the first drive, keep that gain to a 2-yard gain.
2nd down and 8 for Steiner. Smith takes the snap, fakes a handoff, now hands to Thompson. Thompson through the line. There's a good gain for Steiner. He got about 6 on that one. Bring up 3rd and 2.
And that was Kaminsky in on the tackle, got him around the waist, prevented the first down. So I think Steiner, it's a safe bet to say they're going to keep the ball on the ground here.
So, yeah, kind of a big play here early in this game. 3rd and 2 from Middle's 47. Fake the handoff. They hand it to Thompson, and he is tackled in the backfield. And it's Kaminsky again. And that's going to be a 3 or 4 yard loss. And now Steiner's probably going to have to bring the punt team on.
That was one heck of a tackle by Kaminsky. He just beat his man off the snap, got in the backfield. The play had no chance. And, you saw that some from Kaminsky last year, more from Bond last year. That was a very heads-up play by Kaminsky.
Now it's 4th and 5. Steiner to punt.
Bad snap.
They fake it. And they're going to get the first down. Here's Morrison running out of bounds inside the Middle Township 40.
Now, Brian, you think that was an intentional fake or a bad snap in the decision?
Not sure there, but I actually thought that Middle was fortunate not to get flagged for offside.
Yep.
And they didn't throw the flag, but it ends up being about a 15-yard gain and a first down.
Get it just inside the 35-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at the 34 for Steiner. This time it's Morrison on the direct snap. He lined up at quarterback, and he turns the corner and picks up a real nice gain, up close to a first down.
Brian, I'm keeping an eye on the line play so far for Middle, and I think Steinert's doing some play calling to bounce this ball outside. The 2 interior linemen for Middle Township sometimes are breaking through untouched on these plays. They're doing a great job.
Here's Morrison again under center. He's certainly a better athlete than Smith. 2nd down and 1. Takes the snap, hands it off to Thompson. Didn't get much, but he'll still get a first down.
They'll spot the ball, and they will move the chains on that, so it'll be a first down for Steiner.
At the Middle Township 23-yard line. Handoff again to Thompson. This time he's taken down in the backfield. And again, it's Kaminsky.
This is going to be a problem for Steiner until they figure this out. They just cannot block in the interior offensive line. And Middle Township, specifically Kaminsky, is blowing it up every time. A loss of 2.
Well, Steiner kind of runs a little read option here with Morrison in, and Middle's got that defensive end has to remember to stay home in case Jordan Morrison decides to keep it. 2nd down and 13. They hand off again to Thompson, and he's blown up again, and again it's Kaminsky.
And I'm trying to get the number for the middle linebacker, number 57, Kyle Matthews. Got him around the hip initially and slowed him down enough where Kaminsky made the tackle. It's another loss. That's 4 running plays in the first quarter have been thrown back for losses for Steiner.
That's a loss of 3. Another loss of 3. So it's 3rd down and about 16 here. It's still Morrison at quarterback. Colin Smith had started at quarterback. He's back to pass this time. He's got nobody to tackle. Spring out to the left. Still rolling. Hit as he throws downfield. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Middle Township down at the 3-yard line.
You know, if you want to talk about a typical coverage sack, that was exactly it. As Jordan Morrison went back, ran one way, ran the other, everybody was covered territory.
It was Drew Harris on the interception. And had the intended wide receiver not make that tackle, Harris had all kinds of running room in front of him. Here's a handoff. Middle Township looks like they're going to get out of the shadow of their own end zone a little bit. They pick up about 3 or 4 on that first run.
Yeah, that was it. And it might have been Julian on the carry. Hard to see.
It is with these Middle Township uniforms and the way the numbers are. It is impossible to see certain numbers on the field here.
You just see the replay on CoastSportsToday.com, courtesy of Matt Ulmer. Man, you'll see what we're looking at.
So Hamer under center here, 2nd down and 6 for Middle. It's another inside handoff, and that's a good run there by Julian, and he's going to have a first down, pickup of about 7.
You know, he's a real tough kid, Brian. And last year we saw him just kind of come into his own a little bit. And you can see early on in the first quarter why he's a tough kid that Middle will be able to depend upon this season and next. Good run, first down for the Panthers. First down of the season.
I do have some good news for you in terms of uniforms, Scott.
Yes,
Lower
sir.
Cape May has finally gotten rid of the black jerseys with the blue numbers.
How about that?
That were impossible to see at night from the press box. Here's Middle, 1st and 10. No score, 4:40 to go first quarter. Opening night of high school football season. Hamer back to pass, fires. It's caught by Max Selby at midfield. Across the 40. Breaks the tackle at the 35, and he's going to go. And Max Selby has a touchdown, and it is an 84-yard pass.
If Middle Township, if you have any concerns about Cameron Hamer's arm, get rid of it. He hit a receiver in stride who beat the defender by 2 steps, and what a touchdown run and a catch by Max Selby. That was a perfect quarterback. First score of the year. Huge touchdown play by Middle Township.
And, that's a drive. That'll go down as a 98-yard drive, Scott, after the interception, as Middle had started that possession at their own 2-yard line. And it looks like they are going to go for 2 here. I know Frank Rigatano was not sure about his kicking game when I spoke to him in the preseason, so they're going to go for 2 here. Hamer and Middle Township just moved. I believe it was the center who kind of jolted his body a little bit. That's going to move Middle back 5 yards, and let's see if now they decide to try to kick.
That was exactly it. They'll move him back, and that looked like it might be a play where Hamer may roll out and keep it and see if he's got somebody open, and split out to the right was Max Selby, who just hauled in that 86-yard touchdown pass. So we'll see if they change the play and change the formation. Selby's just a tall, thin young man who showed butterfly-like hands when he walked in that ball. Looks like the same formation. Brian Gillian split out to the right. Hamer in shotgun, man in motion, and Hamer will roll out to the right.
He's going to keep it. And he slips past the tackle, dives forward, and gets into the end zone. He didn't look like he had a shot at it, Scott. And it was a very patient run, waited for his blocks, and then bolted through a seam and got in for the 2-point conversion as Middle Township takes an 8-0 lead with 4:24 to go here in the first quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
Very well defensively, throwing Steinert in for losses. They get an interception right on their own 2-yard line, and before you know it, bam, it's Hamer throwing a long touchdown pass to Max Selby, 6'2", 180 wide receiver for Middle's first score of the game. Hamer gets the 2-point conversion.
What was really impressive about it, Scott, is that Selby ran away from a man right as he caught the football, and then also eluded a diving tackle attempt at the 35-yard line. So very strong on his feet, turns it into an 84-yard touchdown. Here's the kickoff as Middle Township leads at 8-0. It's another short one. This one's taken by Thompson at the 25. He's going to cut it back across to the far sideline. He's bumped out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line.
The Steinert Spartans with some decent special teams coverage and blocking. They've been able to get a couple of of good run backs. So Spartans will get the ball back late in the first quarter, 4:16 to go. They trail 8-0. Last year, Steiner won 5 football games. And if you're just joining us, and why do we have high school football? Pittman decided not to field a varsity team. Middle picked up this game. First ever Keepney County high school football game before Labor Day.
1st and 10 for Steiner. Fumble. Handoff. It is a fumble. Morrison fumbled it. It's picked up by Julian, and he's going to run it in for a score.
Wow.
32 yards out.
It was a bad handoff from quarterback to running back. The ball laid on the carpet. Julian was going to dive on it. He looked down and said, I don't have anybody around me. He picked it up clean, took off, beat one man into the end zone. Middle scores again, 14-0 Panthers.
Yeah, and in the span of it's Middle Township has 2 scores here, and they take what looks like right now a commanding 14-0 lead with the 2-point conversion to come.
You know, we said at the top of the broadcast we expected a little sloppy play early on because these kids are losing more than a week of practice time. Middle has been very composed and poised and playing heads-up smart football, while the Spartans after the long bus trip, you know, they're the ones making the errors, including a bad pass and now a drop ball from quarterback to running back, and it's a chance for Middle to extend the lead, and they will go for 2.
Hamer back to pass, fakes. He's going to tuck it under and run. Does he slip in? Yes, he does. The signal is that he did get it on the run, so Middle Township now leads it 16-0.
And Hamer gets it in, and he got wrapped up right at the goal line, but the score goes in. It's 16-0, Middle Township over Steinert. First quarter, back after this 30-second timeout on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Whew. Stay south, my friend.
What's the projection on that?
Next 5 days, it'll be still south.
That's not how it is now, right?
No, that's the projection.
Oh.
From NOAA.
Really?
Look, see where it hits? Right over us. Bring it.
No.
Avalon needs new dudes.
Back at Memorial Field and Cape May Courthouse, 4:05 to go, first quarter. If you're just tuning in, you missed a lot. Middle Township has extended its lead to 16-0 over Steinert on a long touchdown pass and a fumble recovery for a touchdown by Middle. They had both 2-point conversions, and they're up 16-0 in the first quarter.
So they'll kick it off again. This is the 3rd kickoff for Middle Township. This one is taken by an up man coming out across the 30 and out to about the 40 is Jake Swindaz. And I believe, yes, there is a flag down. This is the first flag in regular play that we've had. We had a flag on a 2-point conversion, but let's see what we got here. The indication from the official is that it is a hold against Steiner. And that's going to move them back 10 yards, and they'll start at their own 30. This is actually their worst starting field position. Steinert's had 3 possessions. They went 3 and out on the first. They actually moved the ball with the help of a fake punt before throwing an interception, and their last drive ended before it started with a fumble on the first play that called Julian return for a touchdown. There's another fumble on a poor snap. I shouldn't say poor snap. Colin Smith basically just dropped it on the shotgun, and he has to jump on it for a loss of about 4.
Smith hit him, or the football hit Smith right in the numbers between the 1 and the 4. He just lost the handle on the ball, and he wasn't keeping his eye on the ball until he caught it. So another 2nd and long for the Spartans.
Smith takes the snap. He's back to pass. Looking, throws it out in the flat. It's caught by Thompson. He's got a lot of room across the 40, 45, 50. And he's bumped out of bounds inside Middle Township territory. No, they're going to say he stepped out right at the 50. That's a 24-yard play.
Nice play, and he was wide open, too. His middle defender was Cody Kern, and he played off him just a little bit, but caught the pass and just took off.
So 1st and 10 for Steinert. Ball right at the midfield stripe. 3:17 to go first quarter. Middle Township leads 16-0. Thanks for joining us here on 98.7 The Coast. Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the first handoff, now hands off to Morrison. Morrison lunges forward and picks up about 8. Morrison is clearly, Scott, Steinert's best athlete.
Yes. Very fast. He had some hops there as he got over. Number 3 for Middle Township, Drew Harrison, had a nice 8-yard gain.
Thompson this time the lone setback for Steinert. And we're going to have a flag, and it looks like, I believe the center may have been the one who was off kilter on that one. It looked like 4 or 5 players from Steinert moved, and the ball was never snapped, so it's an illegal procedure penalty.
It looked like it might have been a pass play or a handoff to Jordan Morrison, the wide receiver, maybe underneath, but the play blew up, so they'll move him back. It'll now be 2nd and 7 for Steiner.
Here is Smith again. Hands off to Thompson. And he does a good job keeping his feet moving, and he turned nothing into about a 5-yard gain.
That's exactly it. As soon as he got hit, he carried the defender about another 4 yards and picked up a nice gain, so a 3rd and short for Steiner.
The blocking for Steinert, Scott, did enough to kind of make Middle kind of stand up a little bit, their linemen. And then when they came in on Thompson, Thompson had that low leverage, was able to carry a couple of tacklers. Here's Smith rolling, throws. Thompson was wide open at the first down marker, and he threw it behind him, and it's incomplete.
That would have been an easy first down and more, but the junior quarterback just absolutely missed him.
And I think Smith could have run for that first down as well.
Yep.
So on 4th and 3, it looks like Steinert will line up to punt. The last time they did it was a fake with Morrison back as the punter, but this time they have a different punter back there, and Angelo Falvo. And now we have a timeout called by Middle Township. So timeout on the field. Panthers leading Steinert 16-0. 1:54 to go first quarter. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
Thanks, Adam. Just make it a 30. That's fine. We have a break between at the end of the first quarter, or it'll be a 60. Nearing the end of the first quarter, Middle Township jumping out to a 16-0 lead over Steinert from Hamilton and Mercer County. Game added onto the schedule after Pittman decided not to field a varsity team, so Middle picked it up. Middle has been able to capitalize on Steinert's errors on offense here in the first quarter with an interception, a fumble, and some other difficulties for Steinert. But they're in a 4th and a long 2, and now punt.
Yeah, now Morrison is back as the punter. Let's see if there's any trickery here from Steinert again. They go to a long count. Morrison looks like he wants to run, then kind of rugby punts it. And kind of just punched it downfield about 15 yards as Middle Township pursued him well. And that punt rolls out of bounds at the Middle Township 23.
Yeah, that was clearly a it's your call decision on the punter. If you got room, run it. If not, just pooch it out there and try to get it down the field about 10 or 15 yards. You know, you see a lot of kids on Steiner, like in Middle Township, they're playing both ways, as now Morrison will stay on the field and play safety.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't talk about, Scott, you have a very warm evening, as you often do early in the season, and you wonder if cramping will become an issue. Coaches, I'm sure, told their kids to hydrate all week. You can't just hydrate on game day. Here's Hamer in the shotgun to start. He takes the snap. We have a flag to stop the play. It looks like someone from middle along the line moved early.
That's it. A little bit of a flinch. I couldn't see it. Looked clean, but somebody moved. Minute 44 to go, first quarter. 16-0 Panthers over the Spartans.
So 16-0, as Scott said. 1:44 to go. Big game, really, for both teams if you have playoff aspirations. Steinert's a Group 3, middle of Group 2. Both teams expected to win at least a few games, so there's a decent amount of power points out there to be had here. Hamer takes the snap and runs, and he picks up about 3. So that'll bring up second down and about 12.
Looked like it was the same play that was called before the penalty as he ran off left tackle to see if he can use his speed to pick up any yardage. But I'll be excited to see Hamer throw the ball a little bit more in this game.
He's only thrown it once. It was an 84-yard touchdown pass. How's that for efficiency?
Not bad.
Back the way you used to do it at Wildwood High, Scott.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh, you were blocking for the guy that threw it. Hamer takes the snap again, rolls to his right a little bit, eludes a tackle, still looking, trying to turn the corner, floats it. Oh, that's a nice little pass to Carl Julian to actually lose a yard. But Hamer would have been sacked for a loss of about 7 or 8. And to spot Julian in the middle of the field there.
Even though it's a loss, Hamer did a couple of good things. Of course, he eluded the tackles. He didn't force a throw when it didn't exist. Now, he could have thrown it out of bounds and saved the yard, but if you got the chance to get it in the hands of Carl Julian, why not? See if he can make a play.
So now third down and 13, 28 seconds to go in the quarter. And let's see if middle runs a play here. If I was middle, I would, just to make a potential punt returner look into the sun. They do decide to run a play. It's a handoff, now a pass. They're going to throw it deep down the field. It's way over the head of Max Selby, and he was triple covered. And that was thrown by Seth Loeffler. And middle will have to punt.
Yeah, they tried that play early in the game, but this time, as Brian mentioned, 2 men all over the receiver and a third trailing. So that had no chance for anything but an incompletion or an interception. So now middle will have to punt. Remember last year, Brian, sometimes the snaps on the special teams play were a challenge for Middle Township. See if they've been able to clean some of it up this year.
That's a good snap there. Here's the punt. It's a low one. It's going to bounce. It's fielded at the 50 and taken down immediately is the return man by Matt Marino. And it was Xavier Roman for Steiner. And a good play by Marino. That's the end of the first quarter. Middle Township leads Steiner 16-0. Take a 30-second timeout. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
Got it on Periscope.
Ready to begin quarter number 2 at Memorial Field. Middle Township over Sterling. 16-0 Middle Township with the lead over Steinert Spartans here, beginning quarter number 2. If you haven't heard, coastsportstoday.com is the place for high school sports. I'm telling you, that's where you want to go. Brian has schedules, scores, highlights, recaps, video. He's got everything up there. Pictures of his kids, you name it. It's all on coastsportstoday.com.
There actually is a picture of my son up there.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, while he played in the beach baseball tournament, I had a bunch of them.
There you go.
Kids making sports news. Ball in midfield to start the second quarter. Morrison fakes a handoff, takes it to the right, makes a man miss across the 40, the 35, and steps out of bounds inside, right around the 30-yard line.
You know, if you learned anything, if you're Middle Township, is number 2 is the kid you got to key on. You know, he's their weapon. Let's face it. You know, that's what Steinert has so far in this game.
And if Steinert has learned anything from the first quarter, they need to give him the ball more. As much as he's had it.
Yep.
He's in a quarterback again here. Taking a direct snap. 1st and 10 at the 30, at the 31. Hasn't thrown yet out of it. Hands off. And taken down is Thompson, and it's Kaminsky again. That's about his 4th or 5th tackle for loss.
Right before that play, I was about to mention how well Steinert has done late in the first quarter trying to block a little bit, but Kaminsky again blew that play up. And, you know, you can take a look at the fumble recovery and the long pass, which were all great for Middle Township, but Kaminsky has had a stud of a first half so far for Middle.
2nd down and 14 for Steinert. Morrison now is in the shotgun by himself. 5 receivers. Fakes, and he takes it for a run, and he's going to pick up about 10.
And Kaminsky was able to get a hand on him a little bit. Wasn't able to make the tackle, but I think what's confusing Steinert is Middle Township before the ball is snapped. Sometimes they'll rotate the ends around to the other side. And you can tell the Steiner defensive linemen are saying, okay, who am I blocking now? Where's the play going? And I think that's causing issues for the Spartans.
3rd down and 4 at the Middle Township 25-yard line, early stages, second quarter. Middle ahead 16-0. Morrison hands off to Thompson. He'll have the 1st down and more. He's inside the 20, still on his feet. And finally taken down at around the 17-yard line. That's a pickup of 8.
Memo Kopp. He's an offensive lineman, a senior for the Spartans, number 52. A good interior block on that play that freed up the running back, Thompson, for the 1st down.
First and 10 for Steinert. Ball at the Middle Township 17-yard line. Morrison in the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands off on a sweep, and picking up close to 1st down yardage is Zadakul Ali.
You know, and if you see Steinert having any advantage so far on offense, it's with team speed as they're able to move it around a little bit. Middle made a substitution on that play, having Dom Arizi come in. But, Brian, you mentioned the warm night, and you see, you know, several of the Middle defenders with their hands on their hips. 2nd
down and 1 for Steinert. This is their best drive of the game so far. Here's Morrison, takes the snap, and he is tripped up by Julian just inside the 10. He's going to have the 1st down, I believe.
Looks like they're not. He's going to be about a half a yard short. And we have an injury of a Spartan on the field. Julian hit the ball carrier right around the ankles, did not tie him up, thinking he would trip him up, but it just wasn't enough. And it
looks like it's Miles Smith who was down injured.
But I'm not sure if he'll be able to get up. It's either a cramp or he twisted, it looks like lower left leg. And we'll see what it is. So as they tend to him, we'll take a 30-second break. 16-0 Middle with the lead back after this timeout on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Send it back. All right, back at Memorial Field at Middle Township High School. Back at Memorial Field in Middle Township, it's Scott Wall and Brian Kniff on 98.7 The Coast. CoastSportsToday.com. You'll be able to see the whole game tonight. 9:29 to go first half. Middle with a 16-0 lead. But a big defensive play for Middle Township, 3.5 yard, maybe a yard to go for a first down deep in their own territory.
Yeah, Steiner has the ball at the Middle Township 8-yard line. They need to get about 3 inches for a first down. Jordan Morrison, who's been the best offensive weapon for Steiner, in at the quarterback position now, in the shotgun. And we have a flag. Did Middle encroach, or did Steinert move? I think Steinert may have moved.
They did.
So that's going to move them back 5 yards. That's a big penalty right there. Goes from 3rd and inches to 3rd and a little more than 5.
And you really have no idea, what sort of a kicking game that they have. So we'll see if this is 4 down territory.
They haven't kicked yet. Yeah. Middle Township kicked off to start the game, and Steinert is yet to score. So you're right, Scott. We don't know if they have any kind of a kicking game, but it's 3rd down and a little more than 5 now. Now Morrison with Thompson as the lone setback. Takes the snap, rolls to his right, throws, incomplete. And that was a great play by Drew Harris. Made Morrison throw the ball earlier than he wanted to, and he threw it short.
So now what do you do if you're Steiner? Even if you have a reliable kicking game, I think the big argument here is you haven't been this deep in the first half. You go for it on 4th and 5.
Yeah, it looks like that's what they're going to do. But they better get a play in. I think they're going to end up having to call timeout here.
Agreed.
Or actually, it looks like the coaches may have given some signal to say almost no play to try to draw Middle Township offside. Well, and now we have a timeout called by Steiner.
Timeout on the field. We'll come back with the 4th and 5 play. We'll take a 30-second break. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast WCZT.
There are 3 out. Of course, there's a timeout. Aaron Thomas. He's the dentist. Oh, is that who that is? Yeah.
All right, welcome back. It is a 3rd and 5 for the Middle Township Panthers. The ball is on their own 18-yard line.
So out of the timeout, Frank Vigitano didn't like something he saw out of the huddle. Called timeout. It's 3rd and 6 now for Middle Township. They lead 16-0, 7:31 to go before halftime. Hamer in the shotgun. Julian stationed next to him, double wingback. It's a toss, and it's incomplete. I think that might have been a hook and lateral, Scott. Julian was going into that area. Selby dropped it, however, so we'll never know.
I think you nailed it, Brian. That was a hook and lateral, and it was a case where Selby, heard footsteps, didn't look the ball into his hands, so pass falls incomplete.
So Middle will punt. And Aaron Garcia goes back again. And Steiner should get good field position. Good snap here. Here they come. They nearly get there, but Garcia gets it away. Bound 6-yard line of Middle Township. Steiner will take over there 1st and 10.
Yeah, decent kick. It was in the air, not one of those knucklers, so no return possible for Steiner. 7:15 to go, first half. High school football, plenty of seats remain at Memorial Field if you'd like to come on over. If music is your thing, 7:30 tonight, Wildwood Crest, 2U concert. Finally, it's not raining. 3rd time's the charm, Brian.
Yes. At the pace of this game, the chances of us getting there before that's over, we may get our next rainstorm before that happens. We had an illegal formation against Middle Township on that punt, so Steinert is going to make them kick it again.
And that is a good decision, as most of these punts have been knucklers and returnable on the first hop.
Snap is away, kick is away. We have another flag down. Ball bounces. It's picked up at the 45. Oh, a fumble! What a hit by Austin Kaminsky. Closes the fumble, and Middle Township recovers. Now we got to see about the flag.
It's on middle, Brian. I'm pretty sure it's on middle. They had some personnel issues getting players off the field. I think this is going to get...
We also have a flag down at the 50 as well, Scott, so let's see what we have here. So we just saw our first big hit of the season, and man, was that a big hit. Kaminsky just absolutely buried Miles Smith, caused him to fumble the football. We have to see what we have here. We have a couple of penalties and a turnover, so there's a lot for the officials to sort out here.
They're going.
We have another illegal formation against Middle Township. We have I don't understand what those signals were. I mean, he almost looked more like he was landing a plane than giving us a.
I think it's a re-kick. I think it was 2 penalties against Middle. 1 was declined, and illegal procedure, and I think it was motion. So 2 penalties against Middle Township, and they have to re-kick.
Well,
man, this will be Steinert's 3rd chance of getting a return.
You know, Garcia now has to retreat into his own end zone. And it looks like Steinert may try to go for a punt block here. They have 9 men up on the line, 8 men up on the line of scrimmage. And now we have another whistle and another timeout.
7 minutes to go in the first half. In the last 10 minutes, we've taken about 20 seconds off the clock. We'll take a 30-second break back after this on 98.7 The Coast WCCT. We'll try for a 4th time, and Middle will simply step out of the back of the end zone and give up the 2 points on the safety.
Yeah, Garcia is not the greatest punter in the world. And rather than give Steiner, excellent field position, perhaps inside the middle 35, Middle leading 16-0, elects to take the safety as Garcia takes the snap 8 yards deep into the end zone.
That is a completely defensible strategy call by Middle Township to give up the 2 points. You're still up by 2 touchdowns, 14 points, touchdowns and traditional point afters. And now you're going to be able to have a free kick and get it off from your 20-yard line and probably, hopefully, if you're a Panther fan, push Steiner back another 30, 35 yards from where that punt may have been. So why give them a first down with 7 minutes on the clock? You deepen your own territory, give up 2 points with a 16-point lead, and get rid of the football.
No, absolutely. You described it perfectly by saying it's a very defensible decision by Middle Township to give up those 2 points and try to gain, perhaps as much as 30 yards in field position. Now, of course, if Steiner returns this free kick for a touchdown, it won't look too good, but so Middle will kick off from its own 30. It looks like they'll punt it. And I believe it's Matt Marino this time who has the ball in his hands. Oh, and now they want to kick it off. They're going to use the tee. So Marino will tee it up. It's a low line drive kick. Bounces around at the 45. Picked up by Morrison there. Runs straight up the field. And is tackled at the 48-yard line of Middle Township.
Good kick coverage by Middle Township. And, you have to wonder, how much does Morrison have in the tank? I mean, he's trying to do it all for Steiner tonight, and he stays on the field to run the offense. As, Steiner, if you joined us early in the game, number 14, Colin Smith, was the quarterback, and after some bad possessions in the first quarter, he's been benched since then.
Well, again, I don't know if it's any fault of his. I think they've had such a problem blocking that they just wanted to put a better athlete at quarterback. So here's Morrison. He fakes, and he's going to have a big gain here. Up across the 40, and he picks up about 8 on first down.
Kaminsky popped him from behind at the end of the run and drove him forward by a yard. So that'll be a big game for Steiner.
Second down and 2. Six and a half to go, first half, 16-2. Middle Township on top. Morrison in the shotgun again. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, will run, has a first down and more, still on his feet inside the 20, and now inside the 10 down to the 9.
Huge gain for Steinert as Morrison did a great job on the fake handoff. If your eyes didn't follow the ball, you thought it was a loss, but he kept the ball and just ran up the left side. So Morrison using his speed to be the weapon, the only weapon for Steiner.
It's a 31-yard gain. They go quickly to the line. He hands it off this time. Breaking a tackle in the backfield is Thompson, and he's going to do well to pick up a yard.
He ran about 10 yards to pick up 1. Ducked in the middle of the field and fell forward, so it'll be second down, second and goal from about the 8.5.
You know, the interesting thing, Scott, Middle's, despite having a 16-0 lead, Middle's been on defense an awful lot in this game, an awful lot. You know, remember, one of the touchdowns was scored on defense.
The other was an 86-yard touchdown pass.
And now we have a flag down. Illegal motion against Steiner.
You know, these kids on both sides of the ball, and Steiner offensively and Middle defensively, they're tired. You know, they're not getting a week plus of practice. It's a warm evening, and a lot of hands on the hips. You know, Middle's line is bigger than Steinert's line. Middle had a huge advantage starting this game.
Morrison in the shotgun. 3 receivers split to the far side. He'll roll that way. Floats it incomplete. Gary Nagel came up and pressured Morrison, and the pass was overthrown, intended for Ali.
Third and goal for Steinert. 5 minutes to go first half. They trail Middle Township 16-2.
So it's third down and goal from the 13 for Steiner. 5:03 to go before halftime. And remember, Middle Township gets the ball to start the second half. So this would be a big stop for Middle here. It's a trap to Thompson. He's going to run right through the middle, and it's a touchdown. 13-yard run, well-designed play there by Steiner. And Thompson scores for Steiner.
Untouched, just scooted around the left side of the line. Nobody was there. Great blocking from Steinert, and they just took advantage of a winded Middle Township defense for their first score. 16-8.
And now they'll bring on the kicking tee. And it is Angelo Falvo attempting the kick here. Snap is good. Hold was a little shaky, but they did get it down, and the kick is good. So it's now 16-9, Middle Township on top. 4:55 to go before halftime. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
All right, back at Memorial Field, Middle leads 16-9, 4:55 to go in the second quarter. Steiner off the touchdown, puts the ball in the air.
It's kind of a squib kick. It's bouncing around. Someone from Middle's got to get on that. Finally, I believe it was Loeffler that did, and he's taken down immediately at the 27-yard line.
That was Seth Loeffler on the return, if you want to call it that, but you're right, it was a knuckler and took a small hop, and Middle jumped on it. So Middle will have a couple of timeouts and one timeout left.
I believe it's one timeout left.
4:49 to go in the half. So they got some time on the clock and a timeout to see if they can get that touchdown back.
Well, you know, they really need to string together a drive here. I mean, other than the other than the play where they got the 84-yard touchdown pass to Selby, they have not moved the ball at all offensively. Hamer will go under center this time. Hands off to Julian, and not much doing there. He picks up maybe 2.
Want to remind you, Primo Hoagies for lunch, dinner, or a party tray for your next event. Tired of the same old so-so? Make it a Primo in Rio Grande. Oliveri Chiropractic and Rehabilitation, 1501 Route 47 South Rio Grande. Log on to oliverichiropractic.com for information. 2nd and 8 for Middle.
Clock is moving. Inside 4:20 to go first half. Middle leading 16-9. They hand off again to Julian, and again he gets only a yard.
You know, I don't think Middle's offense was on the same page. The ball was snapped, and part of the line didn't really move, so the play had no chance to go anywhere.
I wouldn't necessarily expect Middle to put the ball in the air here either, Scott. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think Middle they're reeling a little bit right now. I think they need to get to halftime and regroup, even though they're leading this game 16-9. So, it wouldn't surprise me if they decided to just keep the ball on the ground. Although Hamer is lining up in the shotgun with no running back in the backfield. He's going to run though. Comes up across the 35, spins. He's going to be close, but I think he's going to be short of the first down.
Oh, Brian, that's going to be real close.
They're going to stop the clock for the chains. He got up to about the 39-yard line. That I think he got a generous spot, by the way, Scott.
I do too.
And that is where the marker is, as we see it on the far side of the field. Just naked eye, I think he's going to be an inch or two short, and
Agreed.
then you're in a position at your own 39-yard line late in the half. Do you gamble and go for it on 4th down?
The spot.
Guess what? They don't have to gamble. They got it by the nose of the football. So that's a nice run by Hamer for a 7-yard gain and a first down. That is a huge play for Middle Township there.
Brian, he was carrying the ball away from his body, and when he got hit, nothing went down. The ball and his arm went down first. He retained possession. I think that's the only reason he got a first down.
So Middle will have it 1st and 10 at their own 39. And the clock will move here after they set the change. 3:18 to go here in the first half. Hamer under center. Man goes in motion. They hand it off to Julian. Oh, he had some room in there. He fumbles the football, but his knee was down before that ball was knocked loose. And Julian picked up 3. There was a shoestring tackle in there, Scott, by a Steiner player that if it was not made, Julian might have been out across midfield.
Exactly it. Xavier Roman, number 21, a linebacker. He's a junior. Got him right around the shoelaces, just enough to pull him down. Clock moving, 2:43 to go first half. Middle Township leading 16-9.
2nd down and 8 for the Panthers. Hamer rolling, looking, floating it. It is incomplete. Incomplete. He had the tight end, Cody Kern, open and overthrew him.
Yeah, he kind of tucked the ball inside and then brought it back up for a pass, and it was a little awkward, so he put up a floater. It just went a little bit too far.
All right, so 3rd down and 8. Middle Township at their own 41-yard line. 2:29 to go before halftime. And again, do you, on 3rd and long here late in the half, do you risk putting it in the air, or do you run the football and at the very least make Steinert use a timeout to stop the clock?
Looks like a run.
And now we have a flag.
It's going to be against Middle Township. It'll be an illegal procedure. I think they might have had 2 men in motion. And it'll be marked off against Middle. And we'll see if it changes the play call at all, Brian.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, Scott, is we had the first 2 or 3 possessions. There were hardly any penalties in this game. And now it seems like there's one every other play.
Yep. First quarter was very clean, and now everything is getting called.
3rd down and 13 for Middle. Let's see what they do here. Well, the one thing they do need to do is hurry up. We'll see the back judge might start counting in a second or two. He gives the hand signal for the final 5 seconds. But it looks like Middle will get the play off. It's a double handoff. And they're going to have some room here on the near side. And getting out of bounds after a gain of about 10 is Loeffler. Seth Loeffler.
He'll be short of the first down, so it'll be 4th and 3 for Middle. And with Loeffler going out of bounds, stopping the clock at 2:20 to go, I'm not so sure they're not going to run a play here, Brian.
Well, I don't know. This is an awfully risky decision here on 4th and 3. They're going to punt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They thought about it. Now they're bringing in the punt team.
And if they don't hustle, they're going to end up having to use their last time out. .220 to go, 4th and 3 for Middle.
Smell it fake? Any chance?
Nope, looks like they're going to kick it. Garcia gets it away. It bounces. Morrison fumbles it. I should say muffs it. And then dives on it before a Middle Township player can get in there. And that'll have Steiner back at their own 25.
Middle Township has had a lot of procedural penalties in the second quarter, but Steinert has had the bigger mistakes with the interception thrown, the fumble, and the return by the touchdown. So Middle's made more mistakes, but Steinert's mistakes have been bigger, and that was almost a big one there.
So Steiner has 2:11 to get down the field. I believe they have 2 timeouts left. They have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 25. Morrison now at the quarterback position is a home run hitter as a big play threat. Morrison hands it off. Thompson fumbles. And let's see who's got it. Middle Township thinks they have it, and they do. That is a huge break for Middle. And now Middle will have the ball inside Steinert's 25-yard line late in the half here with a chance to score again.
Steiner just delayed its 3rd or 4th major mistake in the first half by 1 play. They nearly muffed that kick. And now it was a bad handoff. They put the ball on the ground again. Middle Township now with 2 minutes to go. They can get some points out of this.
Yeah, they'll have it 1st and 10 at the Steiner 24-yard line. Plenty of time left, 2:05 to go here in the first half. Middle leading at 16-9.
Strategically, an incomplete pass stops the clock. But Middle has had receivers open outside of the first pass of the game. Hamer's been unable to connect.
Hamer under center here. Takes the snap. Fakes a handoff. He's going to run. He's got room. And he's inside the 15-yard line. And that's going to be a pickup of about 9. He's right down around the 15, I should say. He's going to be short of the first down, but he'll bring up 2nd and short.
That was a really good play call by Middle Township.
And Middle again, Scott, with plenty of time. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Middle also gets the ball to start the second half. So a score here would be huge to go ahead again by 2 scores and then also get the ball to start the second half. So 2nd down and a long one at the 15-yard line for Middle Township.
Very few must in the first half, but Steiner must keep Middle off the board here.
Hamer in the shotgun this time. Takes the snap. Rolling to his right. Looking. He's going to run. He has the first down. It goes out of bounds. There's a late hit. Flags come flying in from all over the place. Hamer was really whacked after he went out of bounds. He had both feet out of bounds and took a shot in the back. He got the first down on the run. He picked up about 8 yards, and now they're going to go half the distance on that penalty.
Conservative but heady play by the quarterback, Hamer. Kern had his man beat, and he thought, well, I can keep it or I can put the ball in the air, maybe gain the same amount of ground. Hamer gained it and then drew the penalty.
Yeah, they marked the ball at the 7, and now half the distance to the goal will take it right into about the 3.5.
Boy, if anyone, if you've seen mature from last year to this year so far, it's been Hamer.
1:09 to go before halftime. Hamer takes the snap. Hands to Julian. Julian off left tackle, and he is in for the touchdown. Signal came late, but he's across the line, and Middle Township extends its lead to 22-9 with the conversion coming.
Big blocking by the left tackle and left guard by Middle Township, and Julian just dropped his shoulder, hit I think the guard in the back, and just followed his lead into the end zone. So Middle up 22-9 at the half, and they have a chance to extend it.
Well, still 1:01 to go, but Middle certainly in a good position here as they line up for the 2-point conversion. Hamer in the shotgun here. Sends Julian to a wingback position from out of the backfield. Hamer will roll to the right. Cuts back. He's looking. Now he wants to run. Still looking. Dives. And did he get in? Yes, he did. That's an athletic play there by Cameron Hamer. Kept the play alive. And Middle leads at 24-9. 101 to go before the half. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
A minute to go before halftime. High school football season kicking off very early on 98.7 The Coast WCZT. And as Brian mentioned, Middle will get the ball to start the second half. That 2-point conversion was huge, and now the Panthers with a 15-point lead over Steinert. So even if Steiner gets 2 touchdowns, they're going to need at least 1 2-point conversion.
And the big thing here for Middle, Scott, obviously, is to not give up a big play with 1:01 to go before the half. Leading 24-9, and as we said, Middle does get the ball to start the second half. Now, Matt Marino has it teed up.
You know, really, if you're Middle Township, you just keep an eye on number 2 all the time and follow the ball. He's had to have had 70% of the touches in the first half for Middle. He's one of the 2 deep backs.
Kick is away. It's a squib kick to try to prevent a big return, but it looks like Steinert's going to come out still on his feet, and getting down to the Middle Township 45-yard line is Josh Lyons. That kind of did not go as planned for Middle Township, and now Steinert has a very short field with 54 seconds left in the half.
You know, Steiner's got a first down. I think they're going to try to work Middle outside, knowing full well Middle's defense is winded. I think they're going to try to break something outside and see if number 2, Morrison, will put the ball in the air. But, Brian, interestingly enough, back into the game is Steinert's quarterback, number 14, Colin Smith.
Yeah, and Morrison comes back out to a slot position on the near side. 4 receivers, no tight end. Thompson in the backfield.
This may be one of those reverse handoffs. I think they're looking at number 2 one way or the other on this play.
Well, we have some kind of a delay here.
Maybe a clock issue, Brian. It's at 58 seconds. Coach Rigitano is asking for a clarification.
Well, that can't be right. I mean, there's no way only 3 seconds went off the clock on that play.
Right.
There was 1:01 to play, and he's not happy with the explanation. But it's impossible that only 3 seconds went off the clock there. We'll see if those 3 seconds are big, or those 4 seconds that they just put back on the clock. Smith hands to Morrison, sweeping the right side, cuts back. He's going to pick up about 4. Clock keeps moving.
That was the play. They had him in the slot, but that was clearly a handoff, and Colin Smith, the quarterback, will stay in the game. Well, just watch where number 2 lines up. I mean, it's not much more complicated than that.
They elect not to take a timeout here. It's 2nd down and 5. Smith back to pass this time. Fires over the middle, incomplete.
Good coverage by Middle Township on the play. Matt Marino had the receiver covered.
Yeah, Roldy DuPont was the intended receiver. DuPont probably should have had that, but it was good coverage. 3rd down and 5, 28 seconds to go. Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. Smith takes the snap. Back looking, out in the flat. Hits Thompson, who has the first down. Clock will stop on the first down. as they move the chains, but Steinert takes the timeout anyway.
Marino in on the tackle, and he just hung onto the jersey long enough to get a little bit of help and prevent that play from going longer. So a timeout on the field is called by Steinert. 21 seconds to go first half, 24-9, Middle with the lead. We'll be back with the conclusion of the first half after this 30-second break on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT.
Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap, floats it out to Thompson in the flat. Thompson is hit, picks up one or two, but that's it. Steinert, I believe, is going to have to take their last time out, and they do. It's a good play there by Middle.
You know, Brian,
Gary Nagel on the stop, by the way, Scott.
Early in the season, you see a lot of missed tackles. And one thing that Middle's defense has done, being on the field a heck of a long time in the first half, they have tackled very well, and including on that hit. So Middle's tackling has been really outstanding here in the first half.
Yeah, and the one thing that you have to say at this point, Scott, and this is something that really hasn't happened a lot around here over the last few years, Middle Township, over the last few years really won games with its offense. They'd outscore people. But tonight, they're leading this game 24-9 because of the way they played defensively.
No doubt.
They have not lit up the scoreboard here offensively. And, they had that one big play for the 84-yard touchdown pass. But other than that, there's really hasn't been much. You had a fumble return for a touchdown for Middle Township, and then you had the fumble deep inside Steiner territory that led to Middle's last touchdown.
All right, so they're going to come out of the timeout with the quarterback in the shotgun. Split far to the left is Morrison. Single man coverage. He'll get safety help, though.
Smith back to pass, looking, fires down the middle. It is tipped and incomplete. Good coverage downfield, the intended receiver.
It was Miles Smith.
Right.
And, a bullet of a pass, a really well-thrown ball, but good coverage by Middle Township. And Middle Township safety cheated all the way over to Morrison to give the cornerback some help. 7.9 seconds to go first half, so they'll take another crack at it, 2nd and 9.
It's actually 3rd down. And now, what do we have here?
Well, they're marking it back. It looks like there's some sort of penalty that I missed. But they're moving it back.
Well, they moved it back 10 yards, so it must have been a hold. Yeah, now's the indication, and that's why they still only have 2nd down in the down box over there on the far side of the field. So 2nd down, 6 seconds to go in the half. Smith floats it. Well, this ball's in the air a long time. It's touchdown!
Jeez.
That ball was bobbled 3 or 4 times and caught by Josh Lyons at the 5, and he rolls into the end zone.
As time expired, Brian, he bobbled that ball from the 5-yard line, moving in, touched by a Middle player. An incredible bobble catch by Steiner to get their 2nd touchdown on the board.
Well, that's an inexperienced play there where Middle Township has to knock that ball down, and you had a player for Middle look like he wanted to try to go up and make an interception. Instead of trying to knock that down, it was tipped, and Lyons with great concentration on the final play of the half. There's no time left. Steiner to go for 2. This is a big play here. High snap, Morrison, he gets in for the 2-point conversion. So that'll cut Middle's lead to 7 at 24-17 as we go into the half. And what a bizarre way to end the first half here.
You have a traditional score that you see in football, but a very unconventional way of getting it. So both teams taking a breather. Steiner goes into the half with a huge momentum swing over Middle Township, and they trail only by 7 points. Halftime ball is proudly brought to you by Crest Savings Bank, banking since 1919 with branches that serve you throughout Cape May County. Visit CrestSavings.com, and also when you go to CoastSportsToday.com, big sponsorship and kudos to Crest Savings Bank for jumping on board and really launching this venture with us.
Yes, no question. And the thing about Crest Savings is they really do a good job with your money. Most smart people put their money in places like that. Matt Ulmer, he just buries all of his in the backyard.
Yeah, by the left oak tree. You'll see fresh dirt there. It always goes in, but it never comes out.
You got that right.
24-17, Middle with the lead. They had a 16-0 lead in the ball game. Since then, largely been all Steinert, and Steinert scored right before the half. So Middle will take the second half kickoff and will have the ball first to begin this game. Steiner had a lot of drives in the first half.
Yeah, and I think this is a critical possession for Middle, Scott. Maybe, not necessarily so much to score, but I believe, they really have to at least move the football and kind of try to get on top of the field position battle here now that this is a one-score game here to start the second half. So it's 24-17, Middle Township on top of Steiner. If you are watching the live stream, which is on Periscope, Matt had to pull some tricks out of his back pocket to try to get a little stream going here. But if you are watching it, Middle is moving from left to right. It's a short kick. It is loose.
Oh boy.
And finally diving on the football is a Middle Township player at the 32-yard line. And we apologize again as it gets darker, even though the lights are on. Middle Township's uniforms are not the greatest for identifying numbers. We'll do our best.
I think we need to have an eye doctor jump on as a sponsor. Probably help both you and I out, right?
Yeah, Gilberto Rivera was the player who dove on that loose ball, but Middle will start at their own 32.
Lights are on at Memorial Field, and I agree with Brian. Big possession by Middle Township. They've had a chance to get their win back. They need to get some drives going and, keep this defense a little bit rested.
So 1st and 10 at the 32.
We have both officials calling in both teams around the huddle. I don't know whether he heard something being said or something was done.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's not as if we had it didn't seem like we had any chippiness to this game. No. We had the one personal foul, but that was for a late hit out of bounds that certainly there wasn't any intent to injure. But, yeah, the officials come in and stop play really before we start with this first possession for Middle. 1st and 10 now at the 32. It's a handoff, and it's a pretty decent run for, I believe that was
Julian.
Carl Julian, yes.
Yeah, got about 3-yard run off right tackle.
But, more importantly, Scott, I thought that Middle's offensive line got a better push there than they had in the first half of play. So 2nd down and 7 here. Ball at their own 35. They lead 24-17. Early stages, third quarter. Handoff. Pushing forward. This is going to come back, though. There's a gain of about 5. This will come back for an illegal shift or illegal motion. At one point, Middle had 2 players moving at the same time, and they never reset.
If you remember covering Panthers last year, they had Sean Scott. It was a big, bruising Marshawn Lynch type of fullback, and there were games they would just feed him the rock up the middle, and it'd be a 7-8 yard gain each and every time. That's not the case for Middle this year. Julian is a good runner, but he's going to need the blocks in order to make it happen, and on the first play of this drive, he got it.
2nd and 12, though, that last 5-yard gain was negated by that penalty. Middle would have had about a 3rd and 3. Now it's 2nd and 12. Hamer under center. Takes the snap. It's a sweep. Loeffler's trying to get to the corner. He won't. And he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
Good pursuit by the linebackers on Steiner, including 58, Angelo Falvo, a junior. It was just good pursuit to the outside. And Falvo, even though he's a big kid, he's got some wheels about him and, resulted in a loss, and now 3rd and 10 for Middle Township. If you're just joining us, Cameron Hamer completed an 86-yard touchdown pass to an open Max Selby, who beat the defender by at least a step and a half. And we'll see if they put it up in the air here. No doubt in my mind it's either in the air or maybe an end-around run. Try to use Middle's speed to the outside.
3rd down and 10. Back to pass. They wanted to throw a throwback screen. Hamer's still on his feet. He's going to pick up 4, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Coverage sack by Steiner. Hamer had nowhere to throw the ball. So at the very least, Middle picks up 4 yards, but they'll have to kick it away.
Certainly not the start that Middle wanted. They're leading 24-7 here. 24-17, excuse me. They don't pick up a first down on their opening possession, and now Garcia on 4th and 6 has to go back to punt. Good snap, not much of a rush. Garcia, it's a high but short kick. Bounces and will be downed at about the 40-yard line.
Very effective punt, the biggest hang time of the game on any punt. Garcia was able to get it and provided no chance at a return.
You know, Scott, short kicks at some point will come back to haunt you. And, Middle just doesn't have a great kicking game right now. They have not attempted an extra point yet. Everything's been a 2-point conversion. And they haven't had a booming punt yet. Steiner with good field position again. Morrison wants to throw. He's got a man wide open. And falling down after he caught the football was Miles Smith. Yeah, Miles Smith. That should have been a touchdown. It ends up as a 25-yard gain.
That was an over pursuit by Middle Township and a very well executed play by Steiner. And plays like that you see in the middle of the season, but not in week 1 with, a week less to work. So a well-run play by Steiner.
Smith in the shotgun. Morrison goes in motion. They fake the handoff to him, handoff to Thompson, and Thompson has close to first down yardage.
You start getting worried now if you're a Panther football fan. This Steiner offense is now in sync, and at the end of the first half and beginning of the third quarter, they're getting yards in chunks. And Middle's doing all can to get the personnel in the right spots.
1st and 10 at the 25 of Middle Township. Smith fires. It's caught. And that looked like a pickup of about 5 for Ali.
Really good playing calling by Steiner. Middle doesn't know what's coming at them. And already a couple of the kids from Middle look like they're tired on defense. But, excellent play calling and execution by Steiner. They're moving the ball all around.
Now, they can't run the ball between the tackles a little bit, but they're killing Middle on the outsides here. Hand off to Thompson. He tries inside, picks up 1 or 2.
Nagel on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and short. Coming back into the game for Middle Township is Dylan Cruz. And running off the field is Maxwell Brown.
All right, 3rd down and 2 for Steiner. 24-17, Middle leads. Inside 9 minutes to go, third quarter, but Steiner is driving. Morrison goes in motion. They hand it off to him. He'll have the first down and more. Steps out of bounds after a gain of about 4.
Very good play call, clearly with the intention of going for it on 4th down if they didn't make it. So Middle's in trouble here. They lead by 7, 8:46 to go, third quarter. And Steiner right now is essentially running the ball down the Panther defense throat.
1st and 10 for the Spartans. Ball at the Middle Township 13-yard line. Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap. Hands off to Thompson. This time he goes through the middle, untouched for a touchdown.
And
a 13-yard run.
Steinert is within 1 point of tying this game. And again, another virtually untouched touchdown run by Steinert. And they have taken control of this football game away from Middle Township. And it looks like, Brian, they're going to go for 1 to try to tie it up at 24.
Well, this is a play for a point. So this is huge for Middle if they can get through and get a hand on it or disrupt the kicker in some manner. 24-23, Middle leads. It's Falvo on to kick. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is good. So we are tied at 24. 8:26 to go, third quarter. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
Did you guys adjust your audio or something?
No. Make it a 30, Adam. Thanks. Is the mics closer? Or?
They're hitting red nonstop.
Really? All right, I'll tweak them back. Here we go. Oh, real exciting, entertaining high school football game to begin our broadcast season. Middle and Steiner tied at 24 apiece. 8:26 to go in the game. If you're just tuning in, Middle had a commanding lead of the game, and Steiner, at the end of the first half and the beginning of this third quarter, has literally taken momentum and control of this game away from the Panthers. Middle is going to need a drive, and a drive with points, in order to stop the bleeding a little bit. They cannot spare a 3-and-out here or a turnover.
No question about it. So Steiner to kick it off after the touchdown to tie the game at 24 after Middle had led. They led this game 16-0 at 24-9. Short squib kick. Ball is live there, and Middle Township jumps on it at the 31-yard line.
You know, you see this more times in high school and in college, and not often in the pros, how a game, you seem like you haven't control in the first half, and you just absolutely lose it like a slippery fish crawling through your fingers. And, you know, Middle needs to get back to basics and to achieve what they wanted to in the first quarter.
Well,
a couple of first downs here and get something going.
The one thing that I'm seeing, Scott, that you normally don't see from a Middle Township team against most of the teams that they play is they just don't have a lot of speed.
Right.
You know, Middle coach Frank Rigatano had said, you know, the strength of this team was along the lines, but they just don't have that game breaker. They're going to try a sweep here. Turning the corner. And I believe that was Charlie McNeil, freshman. And McNeil, that's the best run of the day for Middle. He picked up about 8.
Middle has a kid, number 56, on the roster who is not listed. So he's not on the roster, but he had a good lead block for the Panthers and sprung that run out for 8 yards.
2nd down and 2 for Middle Township, all at their own 39. Handoff this time to Keneas Brown. Brown trying to turn the far side. He does. Has a big gain up across midfield. And Middle Township putting a couple of younger, speedier kids in. Keneas Brown, also a freshman.
The key block, and he looks injured, was by Carl Julian. He made a key block on that and able to get Brown out there. And Julian's now jogging off the field, and he is favoring his right knee or hamstring. It might be a cramping issue, and we hope that's all it is. But he had to run off the field, first down, Middle Township.
1st and 10 for Middle. They finally have looked good here running the football with a couple of sweeps using a pair of freshmen on those runs. Inside Steinert territory. Handoff inside, there's a fumble. And jumping onto this Middle Township, that'll be a loss of about 3.
Rio Grande Diner, where breakfast is served all day. Everything is fresh and homemade. Soups to chef specials. The Rio Grande Diner. Full bakery on the premises. Open 7 days a week. 6:30 a.m. The Rio Grande Diner. Routes 9 and 47 in Rio Grande.
2nd down and 12 for Middle. Ball at the Steinert 49-yard line. Hamer under center here. Takes the handoff, goes to McNeil again. McNeil with some running room, and he picks up about 6.
McNeil is a young player who may have, the best speed in the backfield for Middle Township. And he took the handoff and just got right into that line very quickly. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Middle. 6:14 to go, third quarter. We are tied at 24. The Sprint store in Cape May Courthouse, only steps from the Panthers home field, by the way. like to wish Middle Township Panthers the best of luck their 2017 season.
All right, 3rd down and 7. Back to pass is Hamer. He's hit and he goes down. That's a sack and a loss of about 7.
Would have been well suited to throw the ball away, but Brian, on these passing attempts by Hamer, frankly, none of these kids are open. I mean, they're just not open. The most wide open play was the touchdown play, and a couple of times they were open, but second quarter, third quarter, kids aren't open.
Well, I don't even know if he had a chance to even look downfield, Scott. He rolled out to his right and was trying to get away from a defender pretty much right away. I don't know if he even had a chance to look downfield. So 4th down, Middle will have to punt. Good snap. Oh, it's a very short kick. It's high, but it's very short. Bounces, and it's going to be downed at the 33-yard line. It's only going to be about a 17-yard punt, 16-yard punt. Steinert will take over. They'll mark it down at the 34.
This is where you get nervous if you're Middle Township, as Steinert has run the ball and scored at will the last couple of possessions. Sturdy Savings Bank, banking with a personal touch, proudly supports Cape County High School football. Visit sturdyonline.com for all of your banking or financial needs.
So 1st and 10 for Steinert. Ball at their own 34-yard line. They have come back from a 24-9 deficit to tie. And there's 5:06 to go. Here, yeah, that's going to be a flag. It's got to be a legal substitution, right?
I think so.
Flag was thrown, whistle was blown. Let's see what we got. Now they're going to say this is against Middle.
What's the call?
It was an illegal substitution against Middle.
Coach Matt Wolf is incensed at Middle giving up 5 yards there.
But now it's 1st and 5. Hand off to Thompson. Hit after a gain of about 1.
Good gang tackle by Middle Township. And Nagel in on the hit. So it's a gain of 1. Clock moving more quickly now at 4:46, and we have an injured player.
This has cramp written all over it.
For Steiner, number 75, Nick Clotis, defensive lineman. He's a senior. He's sitting up, so hopefully he'll be in good shape. So as the medical staff comes out, we'll take a 30-second timeout. Middle Township 24, Steiner 24. 4:46 to go, third quarter. Back after this 30-second break on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. All right, Steiner gets off the field. It was a cramp, 2nd and 5.
Smith in the shotgun. Man goes in motion. They hand it to him. And barely turns the corner and gets a yard. That was Ali, Sadaku Ali on the run. And he got...
Give him a little bit more to go.
Yeah, they are giving him more than that. I thought they had him down back at the 40, but they're going to say his forward progress was up closer to the 42.
All right, huge defensive play for Middle. 3rd and short for Steinert. And Steinert has the ball in their own 41.
Steiner lines up quickly without a huddle. Smith takes the snap. It's a counter. They go to Thompson. He's hit, and he breaks through that tackle and picks up about 6 and a first down.
You know, this young man is very shifty on his feet, and he doesn't give up until he's knocked on his tail. And Thompson just kind of turned sideways, went skinny between a couple of Middle players, and picked up 5. Again, the stream of the game on coastsportstoday.com, brought to you by Crest Savings Bank. Matt Ulmer has it streaming on coastsportstoday.com.
First and 10 for Steinert at their own 48. Tie score, late stages, third quarter. Smith keeps it straight up the center of the field. Has a first down and more. He's inside the 25-yard line of middle.
You hate to say it, that was one of the rare missed tackles by Middle Township today. The middle defender, believe it was 57, if I'm not mistaken, had him wrapped up. May have been Kyle Matthews, and he just eluded the tackle and picked up a huge game. Another first down for Steiner.
Well, middle is all of a sudden just getting plowed over defensively after they were playing well in the first half. Smith keeps it again through the center of the field, and he picks up about 5.
Boy, what a difference from the first quarter as the yardage is coming in chunks for Steiner. Where Middle Township started this game by dropping Steinert for losses as they controlled the line play. But since then, Steinert has just been opening up holes left and right.
It's actually closer to a gain of 7, Scott. Smith in the shotgun. He hands it off to Smith. Broke a tackle in the backfield and did well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
No, but how well coached is this?
That was Miles Smith on that run, Scott.
You know, Steinert's team is, head coach Dan Caruso had to change the offense in the second quarter to get back into the game by getting the ball in the hands of Morrison the whole time. And now, even though he's still in the game, he's not getting the ball, and Steinert has corrected the ship here and knocking on Middle's door again.
3rd and 2 at the 13. It's a counter to Morrison. He's going to walk right into the end zone. Actually, it was a double handoff, really. I mean, a fake handoff, and then they handed it off to Morrison, and he walked right into the end zone from 13 yards out.
Middle trails for the first time in this football game, 30-24. Middle led at one point, 16-0. So Steiner since then has outscored Middle Township 30-8. And with a 6-point lead, they have options here. I think they'll go for 1. They've been successful in the point after kicks. So with 2:15 to go, third quarter, Steiner will have a chance to go up by 7. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up and good, and it will be extended to a 7-point lead. Steinert Spartans from Hamilton, Mercer County, leading Middle Township 31-24, 2:15 to go, third quarter. Back after this 30-second break on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Got a good one for you to start the season as Middle trails Steiner 31-24. Middle with the ball in Steiner territory on the 36-yard line. It'll be 2nd and a long 6.
Scott, you were talking about a middle offensive lineman who's thrown a couple of key blocks on some of these runs, number 56. That is Evan Harris. He was not listed as a different number on the roster. Here's Brown again. He's got a first down, spinning for more, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
What a move. An absolute spin and a big gain for Middle Township on the carry, and he just spun and was able to gain about another 10 yards. So Middle is getting the ground game going. Now it's Steinert's defense with the hands on their hips thinking, Middle's got something for us now.
1st and 10 at the Steinert 18-yard line. That was Keneas Brown. Brown and McNeil, the 2 freshmen, sparking Middle's offense here over these last couple of series. But they certainly need a score, trailing 31-24. Back to pass, thrown over the middle, caught by Selby, and it's a pickup of about 8 or 9 on first down.
Great throw by Hamer. He took the snap, looked at the receiver just slanting across the middle and hit him in stride. Good timing pass by Hamer.
It is a pickup of 8, moves the football to the 10-yard line, 2nd down and 2 for Middle Township. They trail 31-24, early stages 4th quarter. Hamer under center, hands off, slipping and falling, but maybe coming up close to the first down. I believe that was Brown.
I think he's going to be real close. We have a player down who appears to be cramping up for Steinert, and he's grabbing his right leg as he goes down on the field. So we hope he is well, but with the spot of the football, Brian, I think Middle is about the length of the football short.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be about 3rd and 1.
And the young man for Steinert is sitting up and now rolling back again, and they're trying to work out a cramp. As they do that, we will take a 30-second break. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT.
So of course the internet starts to act up again.
We're good? Oh.
Never fails.
Back at Memorial Field, the player for Steiner coming up the field under his own power. 3rd and 1 for the Panthers.
Hamer goes under center this time. And we have a flag or we have a whistle.
I don't see a flag. We sure have a whistle. The play was called dead. Steinert's saying it's on Middle. And looks like it will be.
I don't know what happened, but they're going to restart the play. It's 3rd down and 1 for Middle.
You know, I think this may be a case where Hamer keeps the ball on some sort of a sneak between the tackles.
Ball at the 9. They need to get to the 8 for a first down. It is a sneak. He takes it, moves to his right, and gets the first down by plenty. He actually picks up 3 or 4.
First down, Middle Township, and now it'll be 1st and goal from about the 7-yard line for the Panthers. They trail by 7, 10:42 to go in the ball game.
It looks like they actually marked that ball at the 6, Scott, so Hamer got a little extra push there. 31-24, Steinert leads, 10:42 to go in the football game. 1st and goal at the 6 for Middle Township. Hand off to Brown. Can he turn it up the field? No, and he's going to lose a yard or 2.
Good tackle on the play by Keon Cooper, a senior defensive end for Steiner. Wrapped him up around the waist, and it'll be a loss of about 3 yards on the tackle.
Yeah, they're going to mark him back at the 8. 2nd down and goal from the 8.
Clock moving, 10 minutes to go in the football game. Middle trailing by 7. Middle led 16-0. It's been all Steinert since. 31-24, Steinert with the lead.
So you wonder if I think they go back to McNeil here, Scott.
I think you're right. And get some speed and try to sneak through that line.
Hamer under center. And we have a flag, and Middle moved early again.
And he did. You see it often early in the season, and again, restating the obvious. More than a week chopped off of practice time, and, Middle has hurt itself a few times in this game, including right there.
Yeah, Middle really had some momentum going here with this drive, and now a run for a loss of 2 yards and a penalty. They had the ball 1st and goal at the 6. It's now 2nd and goal from the 13. And you're in a position here where maybe they have to think about putting it in the air.
That little slant, that little in slant worked effectively on this drive.
Hamer in the shotgun this time. Takes the snap, rolls to his right. Looks like it's a design run. Can he turn it up? He does. We have all kinds of flags in there. This is probably going to come back.
I think it's going to be a hold against Middle Township.
Hamer picked up about 10 yards, got inside the 5, but he came out of a scrum of players, and flags just came flying in. That must have been a pretty obvious hold on Middle Township.
You see that those kind of flags on an obvious hold or a face mask, and it goes against Middle. So they were around the 6, and now they're going to be backed up to the 21-yard line. It is second down and goal from the 21 for the Panthers. 9:09 to go in the game. They trail by 7. Game being presented by Crest Savings Bank, banking since 1919. Branches to serve you throughout Cape May County. Visit crestsavings.com. Also a major sponsor of coastsportstoday.com. You'll be able to watch the entire game online. Get some highlights, too, from Matt Ulmer.
All right, second down and goal from the 20 now. Hamer in the shotgun here. Takes the snap, fakes, fires over the middle. It's caught by, I believe, Kern.
Beautiful pass.
At the 5-yard line.
Oh, Brian, they don't get better than that. What a bullet pass right across the middle in good coverage. And Hamer put it on the money.
That's a huge play there. Gets him down to the 5-yard line on third and goal now. A pickup of 15.
Tremendously impressed by that pass, the slant across the middle, and of course the bomb for the 86-yard touchdown in the first quarter. But Brandon Hamer stepping up at quarterback tonight.
Third down and goal from the 5 for Middle, and they certainly need a touchdown here, trailing by 7. Hamer under center. Takes the snap, hands to Julian.
Oh, he fumbled
the
it.
football at the 1. And let's see who's got it.
Boy, I think Steinert may have it. I thought I saw a white jersey jump on
No,
that
Middle
ball.
Township jumped on it. I think Julian may have gotten it back.
Goodness.
Middle will have it 4th and goal from the 1.
That could have cost Middle the game if there was a turnover right there.
And now Steinert has taken a timeout on 4th and goal from the 1. Steinert leads 31-24, 7:22 to go in the game.
And we'll be back after this 30-second break on 98.7 The Coast WCZT. How cool is my wife? Packers 7, Rams 3. 4th and 1 for Middle Township here. They trail Steinert by 7. 7:22 to go in this football game.
Either that or insane texting preseason scores. 4th and goal from the 1, and this is an absolutely huge play here, needless to say. They hand it off on a sweep. Brown won't get there.
Oh,
That's he might have. Yeah.
Nope.
No, they're going to say he's short.
You know, Brian Brown was tied up. You had the perfect call. He got a little burst before he went out of bounds. His back hit the pylon, but I think his foot was out of bounds before he hit the pylon. So that is not a touchdown, and I believe an accurate call by the officials.
The pylon was hit, but I believe it was hit by a lineman from Middle Township who was in the area, Scott. I think you're correct. It was not Brown who hit the pylon. And, Middle elects to run a sweep on 4th and goal from the 1.
You know, I'm a little surprised at the call. Middle has gained some yards up the middle. Steinert's faster than Middle, but, obviously they saw something that they thought they would get, and they were literally 2 feet away from 6. We have another player down for Steinert who has a cramping issue, and they're tending to him on the field. But with the 4th down stop, Steinert will get the ball back with 7:15 on the clock, and they have a 7-point lead. Stating the pure obvious here, when Steiner gets the ball, they have to do everything they can not to turn the ball over to Middle Township. And the player for Steiner is able to get off the field under his own power, and it looked like, again, another cramping issue. It was number 58, Angelo Falvo, who has played a good game for Steinert on defense.
Yeah, now, Middle Township, of course, they could, on first down here at the 1, you might try to gamble and bring some pressure and try to go for a safety.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, obviously, Steinert is not going to pass the ball here, although they'll put the quarterback back in the shotgun formation. But this has got to be run all the way. There's no doubt about it.
Smith takes the snap, hands off. They're going to get a safety.
And a
flag went down. Let's see. They hand it off to Thompson. And let's see what we got here. Now, a couple of Middle players look like they're jawing with Thompson. They need to get out of there. You don't want to pick up a flag there. Let's see what the penalty is for.
I can't imagine it's against Middle. I think that safety is going to stick.
Yeah, the flag came out right away after the snap, so you would think it was illegal formation or an illegal motion penalty. It looks like it will stand. They get a safety.
Brian, I've never coached a game in my life. I am absolutely stunned that Steiner would put the quarterback in his shotgun and hand the ball off 6 yards deep in the end zone. That makes no sense to me.
They've run every play out of the shotgun. It might just be what they do. It doesn't necessarily make it right.
Yeah,
but.
exactly. And again, I'm not a coach, but boy, that's a surprise. Maybe you take a snap under center, you lunge forward, and maybe get a couple of yards. But to run that within the 1 yard line, it just doesn't make sense to me.
So it's 31-26 now.
Boy, what a crazy game. 2 safeties, a defensive touchdown, a long bomb for a touchdown. And now Middle will get the ball. They trail by 5, 7-10 to go in the football game. And they had a little drive going before they repeatedly shot themselves in the foot. They clean up the errors, get the ball in decent field position. They'll have a chance to retake the lead late in the game. This has been one of the best high school football games we've done in years.
Well, from a competitive standpoint,
From a competitive standpoint.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 31-26. It's a free kick for Steiner. They're going to tee it up at the 20. Steinert's been kicking the ball in this soft spot in the middle here all night. Now finally Middle's going to move some players up. They haven't kicked the ball deep yet.
No.
Everything's been a squib kick. And it's been a little bit of an adventure sometimes in the middle of the field here. This one's a line drive kick. Taken at the 40. Up across the 50. And down close to the 45, and Middle will have good field position here on this possession with 7:03 to go in the game.
Wow. We got a good one. 5-point football game, 7 minutes to go.
Well, the one thing that safety certainly has done, Scott, is it's taken the extra point out of the equation here at this juncture. A touchdown by Middle would put them ahead.
Right.
Says they trail by 5. So 1st and 10 at the Steinert 46-yard line, 7:03 to go. Clock not an issue at this point. They hand it off inside. Big run by Julian, and he picks up about 11.
He's still hobbling, favoring that left leg. And you're right, Brian. I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
And excuse me, Scott, but this is what happens here. You do some things with your sweep game here in the second half, and now all of a sudden that box loosens up in the middle of the field there.
Absolutely correct. And if Middle would happen to score, they'll go for 2 to try to extend the lead to 3. First down.
First and 10 at the Steiner 35-yard line. Handoff again inside to Julian. This time he's got about 5.
Yeah, Middle now picking up some yards in chunks. They get the running game back going again. And Julian's walking off. Whatever is hobbling him, he'll go back into the huddle. 2nd and 5 for the Panthers. 6:25 to go in the game.
And, right there, Scott, there's a prime example. You got 2 straight, dive plays for big yards. And now if you're Middle Township, you go right back to the sweep here on 2nd and 5. Hamer. It is a sweep to Brown. Can he turn the corner? He does. He's hit, and he's a little short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1 or 2.
One of Middle's blockers turned one of the Steiner defenders around. Kind of thought he grabbed him for a second, but
agreed.
No flag. So it'll be 3rd and short, and we are in 2-down territory for Middle.
Yeah, they'll have 2 plays to get about 1.5 yards here.
Keep in mind when Middle's been in this position, they've run Hamer up the middle.
5:30 to go in the game. Middle leads at 30, or Middle trails at 31-26. And there's Hamer on a keeper, and he has the first down by plenty. Picks up about 4 yards.
Good decision making by Hamer there as he did a little stutter step, waited for his right guard to make some penetration, and was able to pick up the yardage needed.
That'll stop the clock momentarily with 5:15 to go. Now, Middle Township football games tend to be enjoyable, Scott, but you need 3 hours.
Where are we going?
1st and 10 for Middle at the 22-yard line. Handoff to Brown. Brown trying to turn the corner, and he steps out of bounds, looks like inside the 20, picked up about 3 or 4.
Good lead blocking by Middle Township on that play. As the Middle blockers are running this sweep better, they're getting out to the corner more quickly, which frees up Brown and others to pick up gains.
And you can see some Middle players as they go back to the huddle, Scott, really trying to stretch those legs. Obviously, cramping is an issue for everyone here tonight. 4:51 to go. 2nd down and 7 for Middle. They trail by 5. Ball inside the 20-yard line. Handoff inside to Julian, and he gets down to about the 15. That's a gain of about 4.
Good tackle by a lineman for Steiner. Wrapped him up right away and just brought him to the ground. So you're right, Brian. It's going to be a 3rd and a long 3 for Middle Township. Clock moving, 4.5 to go in the ball game. They trail by 7. The ball is on Steinert's 15-yard line.
Certainly 4-down territory here. 3rd down, and as Scott said, a long 3. Ball right at the 15-yard line. Middle needs to get a little bit inside the 12 for a first down.
I think Middle keeps it on the ground. I think they keep it inside. I think Julian gets it.
And we have a whistle.
Timeout?
A timeout called by Middle Township.
Well, they didn't like what they saw lining up from Steiner, so we'll take a 30-second timeout. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. You're going to have a lot of great highlights to see courtesy of Matt Ulmer's video on coastsportstoday.com from this football game. Middle trailing 31-26. 4:06 to go in the game. They got the ball. 3rd and a long 3. They're on Steinert's 15-yard line out of the timeout. We'll see what the call is from Middle.
Yeah, again, two downs to get 3.5 yards.
I think they're going to go right On third down, if they need a fourth down, they stick it back up the middle. Let's see.
Hamer under center. Takes the snap. He's going to roll. No, he hands it off inside. Excuse me. And getting up about 2.5 yards, I believe, is Julian. He's going to be short of the first down.
Yeah, he'll be at least a yard short, I think, on the spot.
It's going to be 4th down and 1.
This is game right here.
Ball at the 13. They need to get just across the 12.
Middle, you want to win? Pick up 3 feet here. Hamer brings in the play from the sideline. Huddles up. 4th and 1, 3:26 to go in the ball game. The ball on Steinert's 13-yard line.
Now,
Here we go.
Middle better hurry up out of the huddle here. They're taking a lot of time. Hamer under center. And it looks like Steinert may have jumped offside.
Wow, he drew him right offside. 4 men jumped. They all flinched at the same time. So, how about the coaching job by Middle Township? Whatever they asked Cameron Hamer to do, he did it. And he got Middle a first down on a jump penalty. And there's no argument from the Steiner side. Nobody on Middle.
Three or four of their players jumped offside. I believe that's the first time Middle went to a double count in the game. 3:08 to go. 1st and goal from the 8 for Middle. A touchdown puts them ahead. They trail 31-26. Handoff to Julian. Through the middle. He's inside the 5. Inside the 3, down to the 2-yard line.
Tough kid. He's been playing on one good wheel this whole game. Limps back to the huddle and just stuck his head down and got it down to the 2-yard line.
Pickup of 6 for Carl Julian. And he is limping, trying to stretch those legs. Middle 2 yards away from taking the lead with 2:40 to go in the game. The clock is moving. Cameron Hamer under center, takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, dives forward. There's been no indication yet. Middle thinks he's in. It's a touchdown.
Middle takes the lead. 2:21 to go in the game. They are now up by 1 point over Steiner. Hamer runs it in the end zone. Barely made it in, but good enough, and the Middle Township fans explode.
So Middle takes the lead, 32-31. They'll certainly go for 2 here, leading by a point. Good run there by Hamer. Good decision. All of his quarterback sneaks tonight, Scott. He's taken the ball from the center and just gone right between the center and the right guard.
Yep.
And he's really done well with it tonight.
That's coaching and that's patience. That's another year of maturity from Hamer, who spelled the quarterback last year after an injury, and he struggled a bit with the ball, but he's playing like a seasoned quarterback tonight. You know, Matt Harris went down with that shoulder injury last year, and Hamer came in, but he looks like a different kid this year. 2:21 to go, and here is the untimed 2-point conversion. Hamer rolls out to the right. He's being pursued. Now rolls left, still pursued.
He's got to throw that football. Yeah, and he'll learn that. But yeah, he's got people chasing him. As you said, Scott, it's a 2-point conversion. He has to throw that ball into the end zone, and maybe somebody makes a play. It's no big deal if it's intercepted.
Exactly.
But at this point, Middle still has the lead, 32-31, 2:21 to go in the football game.
We'll take a 30-second break. Back for an exciting ending at Memorial Field right after this on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Title sponsor Crest Savings Bank, banking since 1919, sponsoring high school football this year. And Crest Savings Bank with a tremendous game to begin this season as Middle has retaken the lead 32-31 over Steiner.
Well, Steinert has shown some big playability, so we'll see. We got Steinert has, after a slow start, they were trailing 16-0 and 24-9 and came back and took a 31-24 lead. And now Middle Township is back ahead 32-31 after getting the safety after failing the score on 4th and goal from the 1. And then the drive there culminating with Cameron Hamer's 2-yard touchdown run. It is a low kick taken by Miles Smith, and he's out across the 35 to about the 38.
Smith ran into a bit of a wall. Middle Township did a good job on containment. And 2:15 to go in the ball game.
All right, now someone, if you're Middle Township, someone's got to step up and make big plays here.
Coach Rigitano doing it all tonight, including collecting the tee.
Tried to get the music on the stereo on the loudspeaker before the game. 1st and 10 for Steiner. They hand it off to Morrison. Morrison cuts it back through the middle. He's hit and taken down after a gain of about 6.
A monster hit inside by Middle Township. Helmets are flying off. And that was number 52, Joel White, in on the tackle. He has to strap up again after that hit.
Steiner elects not to take a timeout here. Smith under center, takes the snap. Thompson hitting the backfield, and he's not going to get very far. Taken down for a loss of 3. The ball may be loose. I think Middle Township initially thought they may have had it, but I think the officials may have blown it dead.
That's exactly it. I think the ball did squirt loose, but they blew it dead. And we got a middle player slow to get up after that huge pile at the 41.
Yeah, now we have a timeout.
Taken by Steiner.
Taken by Steiner. We'll keep it here for this one. And they're going to have 3rd down and 7 at their own 41. They need to get out to the 48-yard line of Middle Township. And obviously this is 4-down territory for Steinert as we're inside 2 minutes to play with 1:40 to go. 32-31, Middle Township ahead.
Brian, in the second half, Steinert has had some success with quarterback Colin Smith in the shotgun and doing some of these quick passes and trying to get behind Middle Township's defensive line, taking your chance with the secondary.
I got to think they're going to try to get the ball in the hands of Morrison. Morrison is in the slot. Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Back to pass. He's hit, and he is taken down.
Biggest defensive play of the game by Middle Township as Kaminsky comes in, sacks the quarterback on a huge play. It was clearly a passing play, and Kaminsky just burst through the line, got a hold of the quarterback, and didn't let go. 4th and long, game on the line for Steiner.
Scott, Steinert obviously made some kind of an adjustment at halftime. We were calling Kaminsky's number a lot in the first half, making a lot of tackles for losses. And then in the third quarter, and even late in the second quarter, Kaminsky wasn't as much of a factor, but he really blew that play up there. A loss of 7 on the sack. It's 4th down and 13 with 1:29 to go in the game, and this is the ball game here.
32-31, Middle with the lead. If Steinert doesn't convert, Middle, all they'll have to do is take a couple of kneels and escape Memorial Field with their first win.
Yeah, Scott, I didn't keep track of it in the second half. Steinert has used at least 2 timeouts. So you're right. Middle could, if they stop them here, would be able to basically take 3 knees and end the game.
That's it. Here's the ball game.
4th and 13. Colin Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's back, has some time, fires, it's caught for a first down. Steiner stays alive as the pass is caught by Joe Swindaz.
Needed 13, they got 17. The ball is spotted on Middle's 48. Steinert lines up quickly. Minute 23 to go in the football game.
Clock is now moving. Ball is snapped. Smith is back. Fires out in the flat to Thompson. Breaks one tackle. Still on his feet. Is down after a gain of about 7, but the clock is moving.
Minute 7, minute 6. Steinert setting real quick.
Second down and about 4. And now we have a whistle and a timeout taken by Middle.
You know, you got Julian, I believe, who's really gimpy, so it would have been 11 on 10. Middle wanted to, I think, slow down a little bit, catch some wind, thinking out of a timeout they're going to match up better with whatever Steiner throws at him. Good call by the Panthers coaching staff. Just under a minute to go in this football game. 32-31, Middle with the lead. Entertainment value through the roof on this game.
Yeah, you know, I think Steiner was still a few seconds away from snapping the ball. And when they called the timeout, I thought, wow, you know, Middle could have at least let him take a couple more seconds, do it right before they snap. But as you said, that's a good heads-up play there by Rigitano, the coach. Because as you said, he saw that Julian was nowhere near ready to play that next play. And he said, I got to call this timeout because they didn't have time to get him out of the game, and he wasn't going to be ready for that next play. Second down and 4 out of the timeout. Colin Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap. He's back. He fires incomplete. Behind the intended receiver, Roldy DuPont, down at about the 25-yard line.
Roldy DuPont put a great move about 10 yards up the field, and he was wide open. A good pass that could have been 6.
Third and 4. 55 seconds to go. Middle leads 32-31. Colin Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Looking over the middle. It's caught by Miles Smith for a first down. Inside the 30, it's a pickup of about 14.
They're on the 28-yard line, and they'll set real quick. The clock stops with 48 seconds to go as they reset the chains. Out of the whistle, the clock starts again.
Smith back to pass again. Fires. Incomplete. Wow, and Smith had his hands on it at the 10 and probably should have caught it.
Smith should have caught it. Perfectly thrown ball. He split the middle defenders, and he just dropped it. Never had possession, and now a middle defender is grabbing the back of the legs, again cramping up. Not sure if it's Julian or not, but, you know.
40 seconds to go. It's second down and 10. Ball's at the 28-yard line of Middle Township. Steinert needs a score. Now, remember, Steinert has kicked a couple of extra points tonight. Mm-hmm. And we have no idea what Angelo Falvo's field goal range is. But you got to think, you know, if they get the ball, say, you know, maybe inside the 15-yard line, you know, they may try for a game-winning field goal. So, really, they may be one pass completion away from being in position to line up for a field goal to win the game.
You know, Steinert has the timeout left. Excellent point. All the point afters have been good, and good generously. Probably add another 5-6 yards on a point after. They're still going to be good, and we don't see it often. It's once an eclipse that we see a high school game involving a local team come down to a last-second field goal.
You know, I remember, and I can't remember the year, Scott, but Sean McGuire won a football game for Middle Township with a field goal with less than 30 seconds to go in a game. That's got to be going back at least 10 years ago. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, this could come down to a kick. It's second and 10 from the 28-yard line of Middle with 40 seconds to go.
Well, it is not Carl Julian who's coming off the field. It looks like it's Cody Kern.
Yeah, and that looks like a cramp. And hopefully that's all it is, you know, with all these kids that are getting nicked up. That'll loosen up. at some point. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10. Colin Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Rolling to the near side. Floats it out. And being taken down before I believe he can get out of bounds is Morrison. And that's a gain of 5. Morrison had an opportunity to get out of bounds and didn't. 22 seconds to go. 3rd and 5. Smith. Back to pass. Throws. It's caught for a first down. No, they're going to say it's incomplete. Incomplete. The diving attempt could not be made by Rolly DuPont.
Yeah, DuPont looked the ball into his arms. He was falling forward. It looked like a catch, but he did not retain possession of the ball when he hit the ground. Incomplete.
All right, so here,
4th down.
So here it is. 4th and 6. 11 seconds to go.
Now, Brian, if you get 10, 12 yards, call the timeout and kick.
Steinert's in a real quandary here because, they want to save that timeout in case they throw a ball over the middle that's complete, then maybe get their field goal unit on.
Right.
But they got to make sure they get this play right. 4th down and 6. Smith back. Fires. It's caught for the first down. Down at about the 15-yard line.
5 seconds to go. The clock stops because of the movement of change. You expect Steinert to call a timeout and kick the game-winning field goal. You expect it. But let's see. We'll see what kind of confidence they have in their kicker. But they're going forward and going to ground the ball, I think, Brian. Or are they going to run a play?
Now we have a whistle. I don't know what the whistle's for. Oh, we have another Middle Township player down.
Yep. All right, this is interesting to think about. You got 5 seconds to go in the game. Steinert was clearly lining up for a play or to ground the ball for some reason.
Well,
they may not have confidence, Brian. Their kicker can kick a 35-yard field goal.
Well, here's the thing, Scott. They still have a timeout left. And, with 5 seconds left, I don't know if you want to risk it, but do you take a snap and maybe move the ball toward the middle of the field?
Take a knee.
And take a knee. I don't know. You're really risking it with 5 seconds that you're going to be able to pull all that off. They have a timeout. So you would think that maybe they would take the timeout here and then bring the field goal unit on. Or, maybe Falvo is just an extra point specialist and does not have much field goal range. But it looks like at this point, because they have the timeout, they don't need to ground the football. And they're bringing their offensive unit on unless they want to save that timeout in case there's a bad snap on the field goal attempt. But
I think you're right. I think the quarterback's going to line up under center and then run right, take a knee, and call a timeout. I don't see him going into the shotgun. Looks like they got 4 receivers out. Maybe looks like they're going to run a play. Do they think they can take a quick shot to the end zone and then call a timeout?
Well, Smith,
I don't think they have enough time.
Smith is under center. The officials got to get a hold here. I mean, they have Steiner lining up, and now they finally blow the whistle, but Middle's training staff is still walking an injured player off the field. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They take it and spike it. And there's 3.7 seconds left in the game.
They stop the clock. They'll get the kicker on the field. And then maybe call the timeout to get the team ready for the field goal attempt. No penalty.
The holder is Spencer Conti. The kicker, as we said, is Angelo Falvo. And this is a 32-yard field goal attempt. And this will be the last play of the game, barring a defensive penalty. A 32-yard field goal attempt. Middle Township's going to call timeout, I think, to try to ice the kicker here. That's exactly what they're going to do. So 3.7 seconds to go.
Outside of a made field goal, the worst thing for Middle would be to jump off sides, thinking that they're going to block this kick and then move the ball closer for a more makeable field goal. I mean, 5 yards would make a big difference.
So Angelo Falvo out of the hold of Spencer Conti will be on the left hash mark. So he has to kick the ball back to his right. And
no wind.
No wind to speak of, really. And, not to get too technical with it, but most kickers these days are soccer-style kickers, and kicking from the left hash, Falvo will probably try to aim for the right upright. And the natural bend on a soccer-style kick would bring it back between the uprights. So it's a 32-yard attempt. Actually, it's actually a 31-yard attempt. It's just behind the 20-yard line. Here comes the snap. Oh, the kick is away. It is no good. It missed. Wide to the left. And Middle Township wins it 32-31. Falvo got plenty of leg, but pulled it to the left. And Middle escapes with a 1-point win, 32-31. And they got it out in their opener. And what a finish, and what a football game here at Memorial Field. Great.
Shout out to the freshmen for stepping up. Yeah, good job, freshmen. Thank you, guys. Hey, family on 3, 1, 2, 3. Family! How big is this?
This is really big. At first, we started out good, and then we came down, so we had to come back. We had to get our heads back up.
You had the ball at the 1, you don't score, and then obviously the safety's a big play there.
Yeah, the safety's definitely a big play, and we came back and scored, and that was the big thing because we had 2 freshmen in there.
Tell me about your touchdown run there. It looked like every time you were sneaking the ball, you were going in between your right guard and center. I mean, the same thing all night?
Yeah, it was the same thing pretty much because they were all looking at me through the middle, so I was trying to find a hole anywhere I could.
How exciting was it to win it like this?
Very exciting, very.
What was it like on the sideline watching that field goal attempt?
I wanted to throw up. I wanted to throw up.
And what was it like when you knew it missed?
I just so happy. I wanted to just jump and enjoy it.
All right, congratulations. What obviously kids are cramping up. Mm-hmm. They have a